Alvarez and Big Vinny V.
Leg of the chair that's right in front of me. Never mind, I was sitting here for 15 minutes.
I was going to say, your foot got stuck?
Yeah.
At the Brian Vinny Show with Craig, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
July 17, 2018, figure4online.com/wrestlingobserver.com. Yeah, you haven't been here for a while.
No.
I was going to say I didn't notice, but of course I noticed.
I know you did.
Still signing them checks. Got a lot to get into here today. Retro Rod Nitro. 19 years ago this week. What's that face for, Vinny? Don't think I can't see you.
I know you can see me.
I can see you right here.
You see Craig, too.
I can see everybody. I even see Rob, Tony. None of you can see at home.
Look at Tony. He's all cleaned up and looking nice.
That's cleaned up?
For him. He actually was clean shaven for a while. I guess it has been a while since you've seen him. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the most important thing here. Cameron's review of the Chop and Rolls match.
Oh, you want me just to give his review?
Yeah.
When it got done, he said, well, thank God they got paid. I guess that means thumbs up?
You're lucky. No, that's a thumbs down, sounds like to me.
He was underwhelmed.
What does he know about wrestling? What do you mean he was underwhelmed? What expectations did you give this child? For the Rock and Roll Express against me and Filthy.
He saw you in his very first live wrestling event, and you wrestled Santiago.
Yeah, he was like 4.
Right.
He can't possibly remember that.
Why not? He's not that far removed from it.
I don't remember the Santiago match. I do remember I beat Santiago, because then Santiago beat Filthy twice.
Sure.
Just want to throw that out there.
Sure.
I think this match was more entertaining than the Santiago match. Maybe not as good in the ring.
And to bring it a little full circle, Santiago and his partner, Ethan HD, are wrestling Mustache Mountain when Progress comes.
That's the match?
Yeah. That's for the Defy show.
Hold on a second. So it's not me and Filthy. It's Santiago and Ethan HD?
Yeah.
I gotta talk to Matt. This is unacceptable.
How dare he book guys who show up and work for him and not guys who have never been to a show?
What are you talking about? Mustache Mountain's never been on the show.
They've
Am
been
I
on
wrong?
NXT.
Am I wrong about that? I've been a Black Label Pro.
It is their debut.
It is their debut. Could have been our debut as well.
Actually, Tom,
I just can't believe that's the match. I'm just baffled.
That's not for the Progress show. It's for the Defy show the next day.
I see.
It's running head-to-head with a Pearl Jam show. Sorry, I'm not going to be at Defy.
Oh, all high and mighty now.
Yeah.
Yelling at me, now you're going to miss the show for Pearl Jam?
You're driving to Portland
Like
this weekend?
like you've never gone? How many shows have you gone to? 300?
This will be number 38, 39, and 40 this year.
38, 39, and 40.
Yep.
Wow.
Think they'll do even flow? Every night. Right.
Oh, come on. Seriously? All right, well, let's talk about these shows here. A lot to get into. I didn't watch... I'm not going to lie. I barely watched any of Raw. I watched about 20 minutes of it.
You're just giving up on the show now?
No, I was completely... Here's what happened. I am still not caught up with July.
Yeah.
I was completely, totally out of time. I thought I can watch all of Nitro and part of Raw. I can watch all of Raw and part of Nitro. Which of these two shows do I want to watch all of? And guess which one I chose? Nitro.
Huh.
Did I make the right decision?
Yeah.
I enjoyed Nitro.
Not a huge difference this
I
week.
thought Nitro was pretty good.
Raw had some ups and downs.
All I know is that I had a half hour left after I watched Nitro. And so I fast-forwarded in, so there would be a half hour left of Raw. Nitro ends with a disqualification in the main event, and the very first thing I see is a 1-minute match that ended in a disqualification. And I almost was like, I'm not going to even watch any more of this show. I'm sick of this show.
There were a lot of 1-minute matches on Raw.
Fuck! With shit finishes up and down the show.
I think Nitro may have had worse finishes, but we'll have to get into it here.
I'm not sure. All I know...
How do you know? You didn't even watch Raw.
That had more shit finishes because I've watched every fucking Raw.
Well,
are you telling me that all of a sudden things have changed?
No,
They have like 9 clean finishes on the show?
Actually, they were particularly bad on this show.
Thank you.
Nitro number 200, July 19th, 1999. Recap of Hulk Hogan beating Randy Savage for the world title last week.
and a recap of Sting destroying Ric Flair and his crew, leading to tonight's Stick Fair match with control of the company at stake. Scott Hudson was doing commentary instead of Tony Schiavone. I don't think it was explained why, but
He's there now.
He's just okay.
He did a really good job.
Yeah.
This is what my patience is like here nowadays. He's doing a very good job. I'm happy as a clam. And then during the Vampiro match, he mentions that there was a stiff kick.
Yeah.
And I was done with him. That's where my patience is nowadays. You say one stupid thing as a commentator, I never want to hear you again.
His big thing, Scott's on the show, was he was doing what Eric Bischoff was last week, which is don't leave a second of dead air. Pathological fear of dead air. Whenever anyone stopped in a promo to breathe in or collect their thoughts, he'd have to say something to fill that space.
Yes.
Video recap of Ric Flair becoming president and going crazy, leading up to tonight's match with Sting. And no, you're not hallucinating. I did just say the same thing twice because it aired twice. Sid comes out for a promo. Takes a long time to get down to that ring.
He was getting a lot of heat. This was a hot show, hot crowd.
It was a hot crowd.
Yeah.
He gestures for silence and patiently waits for it. Finally,
Stop right there. This guy is Sid Vicious, otherwise known as Psycho Sid.
Yeah.
He's a crazy man. He's a psychopath. He's a madman. He patiently waits for the crowd to calm down. And then as he's cutting his promo, every time he mentioned his name, he politely called him Mr. Hogan. Every time. He's the most polite psychopath I've ever in the history of anything.
Hannibal Lecter is awfully polite.
Not this polite.
So, Sid runs down Hogan.
Mr. Hogan.
Mr. Hogan. He promises Mr. Hogan will admit that Sid is the master and ruler of the world. And then, as I wrote here, he politely turned the mic off, set it down, and left.
Where's he going?
What's happening?
You put in the wrong hole again. Every time. I was right earlier. You'd have been better off.
You know,
watching Raw.
We could have
Remember
done
Vinny?
that, and nobody
Watching
would
Raw.
have ever known.
That's what that was.
There's cameras here, man.
Watching Raw.
There's
Yeah.
one camera, and Rob doesn't have to turn it on me.
Yeah, he does. He's Rob. He knows good video.
Apparently, you know good radio. Drawing attention to
this
everything.
guy's doing something funny. I'm gonna film it. He's jamming that thing into that hole.
Craig tried to creep across the table.
I was doing a fine job till I was called
You
attention.
realize there's a camera there, and they're wide angle going like this, so your giant head scooting
Rob,
right
did you
there.
see me at all?
Actually, no, it was actually on the.
All right, suck it.
Why'd you have to bring attention to it then, Craig? We were doing just fine. Go ahead, Vinny. Continue.
So Sid politely turns the mic off and sets it down, and he leaves. The Nitro girls come out and dance for a while. Does anything happen on the show? We were like 12 minutes in, and nothing actually happened
What
yet.
are you talking about? We had Sid promo.
This is Sid's promo.
He had a great promo last week. I gave it a chance. Wasn't that good?
Yeah, the Fit Finley versus Jerry Flynn match.
Okay. This is another one of those shows where I did not miss a week, but I feel like I've missed 10 years. What is that?
My phone's way over here.
Get it off the table. Yeah.
That is?
It was your phone.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's always here.
Well, someone was texting you or something.
That may be it.
Anyway. Since when is Jimmy Hart in the First Family running roughshod over WCW?
Last week.
Jimmy Hart in the First Family?
Yes.
When?
They were presenting a trophy.
I remember that. But they're like a big time faction all of a sudden.
Well, the segment ended, as you were last week, with Jimmy Hart stealing the trophy and his men fighting off the Europeans.
Well, here he is. Jimmy Hart of the First Family here in 1999 has stolen the trophy.
The hardcore trophy.
He happily explains, I'm going to bring it to Sturgis, South Dakota. Come get it.
That is what happened. Dude, that's not the silliest thing that happened to Jimmy Hart in this segment. So, yeah.
The best is what you're trying to say.
So Finley and Jerry Flynn are doing this match. Quick comment on the match itself. I think Finley, there's no one who entertains me more doing basic things than Fit Finley. I love watching Fit Finley do elbow drops. I love watching Fit Finley do body slams. They're all awesome. So they're having this fun mean guy match. And every 2 or 3 minutes, Jimmy Hart reappears in the screen. He's in the parking lot outside the building. And he reappears in the big screen to taunt Finley. And finally, Finley can take no more. And he goes charging out in the back to get his trophy. Jimmy Hart is alerted that Finley is coming to murder him. His plan is, I'll go hide under this bus.
Now, conveniently, there was a drop cloth under the bus where Jimmy could roll on the cement without getting his nice tuxedo
Yes.
dirty.
But can I examine this incident that happened
That's
here?
what we're here for, yeah.
Okay, so at first it was hilariously stupid. This guy's coming to get me. I'm gonna hide under the bus with this giant trophy that ain't gonna fit underneath.
And the final shot was him. He was mostly under the bus, but
Yes.
his hand was sticking out trying to pull the trophy in.
Yes.
He was literally throwing himself under the bus.
So,
Yes.
so that's ridiculous.
Right.
But then the whole point was by getting stuck under a bus, his brilliant plan. Finley was slowed down, and so the first family
Yes.
was able to jump him.
Right. It's a trap.
It was actually genius, as preposterous as it appeared.
Mouth of the South, Admiral Akbar here.
Yes. Bobby noted he's the smartest manager I've ever met, aside from myself.
Yes. So yeah, the first family beats the hell out of Finley for some time, actually. And suddenly, they just jump to the next segment. They don't fade to black. They don't go to commercial. There's no breakup. The beating is still going on, and suddenly here's Lenny and Lodi with no shirts.
Yeah.
Sitting at a table with J.J. Dillon.
They're having a contract discussion, and they show up shirtless.
Yes, for their business negotiations.
Sure.
Because as it turns out, Lenny and Lodi's contracts have expired. And it's up to J.J. Dillon to determine whether or not they will remain employed.
This was a hell of a negotiation, I might add. Nothing about, you guys haven't done jack shit. You've
lose
barely
all the
been on
time.
TV.
Yeah.
We're paying you hundreds of thousands of dollars to do nothing. JJ's big deal is your signature's weird.
That's what she said.
We never found out why it was weird.
No.
Like, were there hearts on it?
Maybe. So he asked them how long they thought they could get away with this. Like he wouldn't figure it out. He says, I'm not in the closet or something like that.
Yes, that's exactly what he said.
And then the big reveal is, we all know you guys are brothers. And that's it. They've been brothers this whole time.
No, Vinny. No, you're confused.
Gay brothers? Weird.
J.J. Dillon thinks they're brothers, but they are gay.
Aha!
Because when you watched it, you could see them getting more and more nervous. And then when he finally says, you're brothers, they're like,
I did miss this.
yes. So the storyline is...
That actually makes me happy because what they're doing as a gay couple is fine.
Yes.
If they were brothers, it'd be very creepy.
Well, yeah. Yeah, so they're gay, but everyone, including the idiot announcers, thinks they are in fact brothers.
I see.
Which begs the question, how do they sign these contracts? Lenny and Lodi Lane?
I suppose. So they signed the new contracts. They are still employed. Thank goodness. Mean Gene brings out Mr. Hogan for a promo.
Thank you.
And Hogan, he was Hogan. He said, I'll beat Sid tonight. I'll beat Kevin Nash at Sturgis.
Cut a babyface promo. He figured it was time to turn his life around. This isn't his first time around the block. He knew he'd win that title. The big dog's gonna come after him. Roman Reigns shout out here in 1999. And he says, Sid has one part of the whole equation wrong. I was like, let's see Sid's equation. That's what I'd like to see.
The Big Bang Theory starring Sid.
Yeah, he vowed Sid would be vowing that Hogan was the man.
Please show your work, Mr. Sid.
Sid.
Yes.
Sting Flair hype video. No, you're not misremembering things. They aired the exact same video a third time now in this show.
Tonight's video.
Lodi versus Norman Smiley.
Fuck.
As I wrote here,
This match.
every bit as shitty as you would expect.
Lodi is so lucky they re-signed before this fucking match.
Yes.
Because if J.J. Dillon would have seen this, it's terrible. Like, I'm sure that Norman Smiley's a nice guy. This is 19 years later. This dude's a trainer at the Performance Center. I watched this match and like, are you fucking kidding me? This match was terrible. The finish, he either fucked it up twice or it looked like it was fucked up. Either way, don't do that. And ICP's in the building, they announced. Randomly.
The only thing I can say in Norman's defense, it looked like he was working as slow as possible so as not to outpace Lodi, but he couldn't do it. Norman at his slowest speed was still too fast for Lodi to keep up with.
I was going to make a comment about the Rock and Roll Express, but they had more speed than both of us in that match.
I imagine they did.
Saturday night, now that I think about it.
Yeah. So, this did in fact suck, and they did fuck up the finish horribly twice. The wacky roll-up into a submission, they just ended up randomly in the ropes. So Norman did a wacky roll-up into a pin instead. And Lenny and Lodi were so broken up by this loss that they danced with Norman afterwards.
They did the big wiggle. I think it was by themselves. Norman left.
Norman kind of started with them, and then they weirded him out.
He left them to wiggle with each other.
That's what happened, yes. For the fourth fucking time in 40 minutes, we saw this goddamn Sting Flair video. What is happening? Do they think millions of people are tuning in every quarter hour, multiple times per quarter hour to watch this show? At last we had the match, so I was at least sure I would not see the video again.
Anyone time this?
I did not know.
I'm guessing it was around
7 or 8 minutes.
I believe Dave said 8 minutes, but this felt like it went at least 15. Am I wrong?
It felt that way. It was a good match, though.
It was a good match, but like, they had a match, and then a bunch of shit happened, and then they kept going.
Yes, this may be the problem. he may have called the match. He may have called the match when the bullshit started.
I see.
But it didn't officially end for several minutes after that.
Yes.
That's possible. So there was bullshit before the match started. Charles Robinson is the hand-picked ref of Ric Flair, so Sting grabs him and kills him with a Scorpion Death Drop. Now, Flair is the president of the company. If you attack his hand-picked ref, shouldn't that be a DQ?
Well, I presume it was before the match.
It was, but
Well, then it's...
Flair's in charge.
He is in charge, but...
Right for this point. So another ref comes in, and
If you're going to go that far, Vinny, then why wasn't this a match where Sting was blindfolded and handcuffed?
I don't know.
Okay.
So the other ref came down, and then he got bumped several times too, and finally Arn takes the ref out, Sting takes out Arn, Sid attacks Sting. This all feels like a finish, and Flair puts him in the figure four, and you're thinking one way or another they're going to finish this off right now. No, it went like 5 minutes after that. Asia gets involved. The ref
ref bump.
For the third time in this match alone, and Sting puts Flair in the Scorpion, and Eric Bischoff...
Can we talk about that very quickly? Flair does this every time. Sting lays him on his back. He straddles his legs. He puts one foot in the middle. He crosses the legs over, and Flair rolls right to his stomach. Flair's on his stomach. Sting hasn't even stepped over him yet. He turned over like an hour early. And Sting, like, the guy turned over, but Sting's like, I'm gonna fucking play to the crowd. You turn over if you want. Hey, he looks around. Hey! Flair's on his stomach selling, and Sting's just standing over him. And finally, Sting steps over the guy.
It's Sting and Flair. So, the ref is out. Sting has a Scorpion. Bischoff hits the ring. He's at the announce desk. He hits the ring, and he calls for the bell. No one rings the bell. He calls for the bell. No one rings it. He calls and calls and calls. A minute goes by.
There was another finish earlier in the afternoon, and I guess nobody told the bell ringer, and there was so much bullshit going on that the bell ringer had no idea what was going on. And so Eric just goes like this, and he just sat there. And Eric's like, ring the bell! He just sat there. Eric's screaming at this guy to ring the bell. And finally the guy rings the bell.
Nitro.
It's kind of weird to see Sting, the babyface, attack Asia. Gave her the Stinger Splash.
She went after him first.
It's 99, dude.
It was 99. It's Asia. She's bigger than most of the dudes anyway.
Sure, not bigger than Sting, though.
Not bigger than Sting. But he whips her into the corner, and he looked at the fans, and the fans said, go for it.
All these fans wanted in the 90s was for women to get beat up.
Yeah.
That was the entire story of ECW.
Well, that's also true.
This had phenomenal heat.
Yeah, you did. It really did.
Yes. And then Sid comes out, he wipes out Sting, he powerbombs Eric, and Hogan
God,
arrives.
did he powerbomb that guy?
Sid, powerbombed 100 dudes. This one, instead of like, most powerbombs, they're straight vertical with the guy in front of you and basically he's crossing your face. He lifts Eric up over like onto his shoulder, and almost drops him. They're like behind him and then throws him down. Yeah, sucked to be Eric.
I thought that segment was great, despite all of the bullshit that we witnessed.
There's a very short list of bad Sting Flair segments. This was not one of them.
I don't think there's ever been one. I can't think of one.
It'd be hard to... There may never have been one.
Got to mention something, by the way, before we go into Rick Steiner versus Horace, which sunk this show for a while. Fucking terrible. Coming after what we just saw. Like, literally the first thing that happens is people chant boring. Anyway.
That's too much credit.
A lot of talk talk over the years that in those final years of World Championship Wrestling, Bobby Heenan was drunk doing commentary?
I seem to recall that, yes.
Yeah, now, at the time, I never noticed this. I mean, part of it was I didn't start drinking until I was 30, so maybe I just didn't recognize a drunk guy on commentary. He was fucking plastered on this show. He was so drunk on this show. He's slurring his words. Now, the one good thing about Bobby Heenan being drunk is, boy, did he love this show. He's a happy drunk. He's so into this show. He's talking about Eddie Guerrero being his favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
He's into every segment. He's like screaming at big spots. He's going crazy. He's like, fuck, the guy should drink every week. Like, what are people upset about? It's a fucking big improvement over the usual shitty commentary. But yeah, he was plastered.
Well, Rick Steiner fought Horace.
Terrible.
It was no good. So, they're brawling on the floor. And Horace wants to use a chair. So he tells the ref, go check the time. That ref goes, walks over to the corner of the ringside area. He talks to the timekeeper, and they must not have seen each other in at least 10 years, because they had a long conversation. They got reunited, man. Two old friends. So Horace is hitting him with his chair over and over again.
Maybe he felt he should get the time in every time zone.
Could be him. He throws Rick in the ring. Now Rick takes the ref, and he has a chair as well. Nash runs out and lays out Horace, throws him into the ring. Steiner hits the diving bulldog for the win. Now I see in my notes here, I have repeatedly referred to Horace as Hogan, and Hulk Hogan as Horace. So,
Well, you're half right.
you can see how much attention I was paying.
Horace is Hogan.
So
But Hogan
that's
is
true.
not Horace.
That is true. So Hulk Hogan comes out with the mic.
His third appearance on the show so far. We're like an hour and 10 minutes in. He's been on the show 3 times.
So he confronts Nash and says, I called you on the phone, brother. You said it was business. But this looks like it's personal.
Beat up Horace.
Yeah, his name.
Very personal.
None of the announcers said this, but
No.
we know. And Nash says, it's business, and it's real personal.
No, first he goes, looks like I lied. Those are his exact words. Like, yeah.
I don't have the foggiest idea what's going on with Hogan and Nash now. They were feuding. They were buddies. They were in cahoots to fool all the fans. They've been buddies the whole time. Then now Hogan's back and now they're enemies. I don't know why.
Dude, when Nash just randomly showed up on this show as a heel, again, it was like, how many fucking shows did I miss? This guy was a top babyface a week ago.
Yeah.
Now he's the top heel.
Yes.
Solely, I guess, because Hulk Hogan is back and he's a heel and they're feuding. Or he's a babyface and they're feuding.
Makes sense.
I guess.
Stupid is what it is.
Eddie Guerrero in Psychosis was fine.
Eddie's put on like 20 pounds of sheer muscle.
Eddie's been lifting weights, taking
Sure.
supplements, yes. Nobody really cared. Psychosis would just do a big move, pick him up, do another move. Then Eddie comes back, has a spinning backbreaker thing, and the frog splash, and he wins. Viano 5 and La Parka run out and attack Eddie. Ray Jr. makes a save. They clear the ring, and Ray and Eddie have a stare down, and eventually they shake hands.
This was good shit I wrote.
Yeah.
I must have liked it. They mentioned during this match that Arliss is here.
Yeah.
First off, not whatever his real name is. Arliss.
Something, yes. Robert
Arliss.
Wool. Yeah. The
The
character,
character is here.
for those of you who don't recall,
Playing the character.
yeah, the character from an HBO fictional show was on Nitro as a fictional character.
And boy, was that the shittiest segment of all time later on.
Yep. Stevie Ray tells the other B-teamers to watch his back while he deals with some fruit booties.
I can't believe that every time I had to write Arliss, I had to put the dollar signs in it. I couldn't not. For a report that nobody's going to read except me. Why do I even remember that? I never watched the show.
It's the only person named Arliss in the history of the world, and so you assume everyone spells it that way.
That's probably true, yeah.
So Crush wants to know if Stevie Ray is still NWO Black and White or if Harlem Heat's back together. And it suddenly hit me here. We're in July of 1999 watching these shows. Bash at the Beach, when Hogan was a third man, was June 96. We are now going on year 4 of the NWO. It has been 3 full years and this stupid thing is still going on with no end in sight.
Now, speaking of Arliss, you know, in Wheel of Fortune, you get to choose your letters, and there are certain letters that are more common than others. In this entire room, there's 5 grown men in this room. There's only one guy that has an S in his name. Huh. I was thinking about it, like, if I had an S, I could turn it into a dollar sign for a gimmick, you know what I mean? And I was like, I don't.
Your daughter can't.
Then I thought about Vinny, and then I thought about Craig. I was like, what the fuck, Tony? Good thing Rob was here. It's a pretty common letter, S.
There's an S in Rob.
Wanska! I was talking first and last names.
See.
Now you just revealed his identity to the world.
I apologize for the spam and junk mail you're about to get. Canyon versus Stevie Ray.
Dude, you tried so fucking hard.
A little too hard, if you ask me.
He tried.
He's a really bad wrestler, man.
Stevie is fucking horrific.
Stevie is a parody of a pro wrestler. He would do something very basic, like a shoulder tackle.
No. Most people parodying pro wrestlers are at least funny, or they can do something right.
Oh, I don't know, I laughed.
He cannot do anything right.
He would do something very rudimentary, like a shoulder tackle where the other guy fell down and he did not. And then he would celebrate. Ah! And he'd go like this, and there would be as many cheers in the building as there are in the studio, which is none. I may have gotten a louder pop than Stevie did. So this goes on for a bit, and eventually the Jersey dudes try to interfere. The timing is all sorts of fucked up. So here's what happened. Stevie hits his pedigree. As he's rolling Canyon over, Paige and Bigelow are already coming into the ring. And Stevie makes a cover, and they're right there, but this is the finish. So, like, gentlemen, stand there and wait for the referee to do his job and count 3.
Oh, the referee, you say? Who is the referee?
What?
Nick fucking Patrick.
I don't see how this could be his fault.
Okay, so he's over here, okay?
Yeah.
The move gets hit. This fucking guy can't just drop down right there and count. He has to go all the way around the ring. He literally goes all the way around the ring. He drops all the way down. He lays on his side like he always does. And then, I guess just to prove that Starrcade, whatever, 1, 2, 3. Fucking Dallas Page is standing there over him with his arm up like this to drop an elbow, waiting. He's like levitating in midair. Finally, Patrick hits a 3, and DDP's like, hits this fucking guy. Patrick cannot do anything right.
That's fair.
And he's been around forever.
He grew up in the business.
Now, granted, DDP probably got in the ring a little too early.
Oh, yes.
But when you're the ref,
All you have to do is stay on the floor until the 3 count.
not even that. When you're the ref and you see that the guy's in a little early, fucking run and count. Don't meander your way on over there and I'm going to make sure this is a full 3-second count, not 1 split second shorter.
So they beat him up until Booker T made the save. Arliss is on the show. He is at the announce desk. He's plugging the WCW guys appearing on his show. He's sure to point out that all the other channels won't have these guys on. NBC won't have them, CBS won't have them, but HBO is brave enough to put the WCW guys on TV.
That was the key. When he first started, he's talking about how these other channels won't have WCW on. And the announcers are looking at him like, are you fucking burying us? And finally goes, only HBO is brave enough. And then Heenan's like, yeah.
Randy Savage versus Billy Kidman, a match I am not making up.
Can we talk about George's heels?
They were really big.
She had like 2-foot heels on. Am I wrong?
They're very, very.
I believe you.
She was as tall as Randy Savage. In real life, she's like 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
He's a legit 6-footer or more.
Or more, yeah. Yeah.
No Medusa, by the way.
He was there later.
Well, not.
Something's happened.
Yes, something has happened.
Did you watch last week's show, Craig?
I watched most of it, and then I was informed that I had to do. I didn't have to do the show, so I stopped.
Yeah. They had a bickering.
A bickering.
Medusa and Miss Madness did. They had a disagreement.
I
Thank God you remember that.
Yeah. So, Savage, by the way, cuts a match promo before the match saying Nash is a dead man. So I guess Savage is a babyface. Nash is a heel.
Sure.
They're feuding. He also says he's going to run for president in the year 2000.
Of the United States.
Yes, yes.
Let me Google that. Did that happen? No?
I suspect it was never mentioned again after this
All
one. So, God bless Randy Savage, who goes out there with Billy Kidman, a guy way, way, way smaller than him, and way, 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 way down the totem pole, and went toe-to-toe with him. He had a back-and-forth match,
Kind of.
until the end.
This was the funniest match because I felt like he didn't give him anything, but at the same time, he gave him a ton of spots.
I see.
Does that make sense?
That makes total sense.
I keep looking around, and the women are trying to interfere but get thwarted over and over again. But, like, in between that, he's just killing the guy. It was bizarre. It was like, I'm going to kill you, okay? And then the women are going to try to interfere, but you're going to thwart it. And then I'm going to kill you.
Well, I did say toe-to-toe. I did not say he gave him the whole match.
It was just weird.
I did like Randy Savage choking him with Slim Jims.
Hey.
I did pop for that.
Yes.
I ain't gonna lie.
So finally, Savage catches him with a pile driver, a body slam, and the big elbow for... I don't know why they couldn't do this for the finish, but he pulls Kidman up at 2.
Very important to have a DQ. We don't want to hurt Kidman.
Savage punches out the ref, hits another elbow, and who should make the save but Dennis Rodman?
Excuse me, Dennis Rodman?
The Worm, Dennis Rodman, yes.
Dennis Rodman came out wearing this outfit that one of Prince's men had to take back because Prince said it was too flashy.
It was not jeans and a t-shirt. No, he stood out. He was flamboyant. They were also in Illinois, so of course he was beloved. And he comes out. He attacks Savage. Arliss hits the ring to talk to Rodman. Now Gene's in the ring, interviewing Arliss and Dennis Rodman. Technically, at this point, the match was still going on. There was no bell. So, Arliss tells Rodman he can make money if he doesn't blow it. Security is holding Savage back. Arliss then books a match for the pay-per-view. Arliss...
This didn't take place, right?
Well, as I recall...
I gotta find out.
As I recall, what was the company that was doing the shows in Australia after WCW died?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think Savage and Robin did a main event on one of those.
Oh, my God.
So apparently Arliss knew it was...
No, it did happen.
What?
They fucking went 11 minutes.
When?
At Road Wild.
Oh, well, I was wrong. It happened there. Happened much earlier.
I gotta watch that.
Why?
Dude, when Arliss was trying to put that match together, I was like, this is just some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, he's just playing a character because they're on HBO. They're not really setting this match up. Because I was just thinking about it. Savage can barely move. He dropped that elbow on Kidman. He could barely get up afterwards. And I just thought, this sounds like the most horrific match you could possibly put together. There's no way Rodman Savage could be good. Now I find out they went 11 minutes on this pay-per-view. I have to watch
a singles match. So, yeah, Arliss gets this match booked. Now, Savage threatens to make Rodman his bitch, to which Rodman responds by presenting himself.
Yes.
Suddenly, Medusa's in the ring brawling with Miss Madness.
Actually, it wasn't... She was in the ring, but she couldn't get to Miss Madness.
There were so many other people.
There were so many other people, so she was kind of like stalking him.
She was merely about.
Yes.
Biding her time.
There's Medusa.
Yeah.
Oh, now she's attacking.
So Medusa and Miss Madness have a brawl that is 1,000 times more intense than Randy Savage versus Dennis Rodman.
Right.
Eventually, security stops holding the men apart. Rodman just saunters off. Savage disappears, and the security dudes are fighting to keep the women separate. And it ended.
Yeah. This is where I started really losing my interest in the show.
There was a lot going on in this segment.
I forgot
Mostly
about it.
with Dennis's outfit.
I watched this show and drove here, and I'd forgotten most of that by the time I arrived.
Okay, so I got the Observer Road Wild 1999 review. So let's see what Dave gave that match. Anybody want to make a prediction?
I'm predicting star.
I'll be a little more optimistic and say a half star.
Randy Savage pinned Dennis Rodman in 11 minutes and 30 seconds. Rodman was the only one the crowd saw as a star. He's talking on the whole show.
Sure.
Here in Sturgis. He gave it star and a quarter.
Oh, there you go, yeah. Now you're even more intrigued.
I have to see this. I have to.
If only there was a way we could watch this.
A lot of it was brawling backstage, so they pre-filmed a lot of it.
I see.
That probably helped. Should we go on, or are you...
They can go on.
Okay. Conan versus Vampiro. So, last week, they're doing this big match. A dream match in Mexico.
So I got one more thing to say.
I knew I should have waited.
The main event, Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, dud.
Yeah?
Rodman and Savage had a better match than
Significantly.
Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash.
I have zero doubt of that, actually.
Wow.
The only one who could move at this point was Rodman.
Which, by the way, we'll find out was a loser must retire match.
Oh.
Yeah, at Road Wild 1999. All right, I'm shutting the window here, so go ahead.
So last week, they have what would have been a dream match in Mexico 3 or 4 years earlier in the opener on Nitro. And apparently nobody clued Vampiro in that you can't use chairs on the outside in WCW. And he got disqualified in what appeared to not be the planned finish. So here, a week later, they do the big rematch. They wrestle for a minute, and the insane clown posse hits the ring for the DQ.
Still going strong, baby. 19 years later.
And it appears that Raven is with them.
Raven is with them now, although Raven's smart enough to stand on the apron and smirk.
I have virtually no memory of this period, but I will say the crew of Raven, ICP, and Vampiro.
That is what it is.
Sounds awesome.
How
can they fuck this up?
As I recall, Raven leaves soon and is replaced by the Great Muda.
What?
Yeah, I swear to God. I promise.
I'm so turning the corner. I gotta rewrite this book. WCW is way more entertaining. WWF sucks. This fucking period. I mean, they still lost. Nothing's changed. But...
It was too hard on this company by Brian Alvarez.
Yeah. Of course, in the next segment.
So ICP beats up Conan. Ray runs out. He gets triple teamed too. Ray, by the way, Ray Jr. came in earlier to shake hands with Eddie.
Yeah.
He was in street clothes then.
Right.
He goes backstage. He comes out in this segment. He's in different street clothes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He was dressed as Gilligan.
I guess.
He was dressed as Gilligan.
I guess.
He had Gilligan's hat. He had Gilligan's Hawaiian shirt. He was Gilligan.
So Conan's the skipper?
Absolutely.
Okay. And Mike Tenay's the professor.
No, the skipper had the wine shirt. Gilligan had that red
Okay.
button-up shirt thingamajigger.
Well, Ray stole the skipper's the shirt.
Anyway, Violent J did a moonsault, and the camera missed it to zoom in on Raven smirking.
Yeah. On Ray.
On Ray.
Ray Mysterio voluntarily took a leg drop off the top rope from Shaggy 2 Dope.
Yes.
And a moonsault from Violent J.
Yeah.
The way he said Shaggy 2 Dope, I could see the 2.
Yeah, so that's the same.
Yeah. That is his name.
Shaggy 2 Dope.
Don't make fun of me, Craig.
I'm making fun of
Don't make
you.
fun of Shaggy.
I'm painting a damn picture here on the radio.
I know, and it's a beautiful picture.
Thank you.
my friend.
They spent several minutes recapping Hulk Hogan's return last week. Why?
It's Hulk Hogan. What the fuck do you mean, why?
He's already been on the show 5 times.
They're paying him like $100 million. He's going to be on the show 25 more times.
Oh, here we go.
Buff Bagwell comes out dressed as the cat.
In blackface.
Well, yes.
Fuck.
I noted that as well. Yeah, it was 1999. Buff danced way, way, way better than I was expecting.
If he would have said, Mammy, I would have shut the thing off.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you, Craig.
Yeah.
Can we edit that off the video?
Why?
Let's talk about
I wasn't in blackface. It was
fucking
cloth.
segment was.
So someone is dressed as Sonny Ono. I think Shawn Michaels' future wife was out there. It was one of the Nitro girls.
No, it was Che.
It was the Asian girl.
Yeah. This was definitely not
Whisper-
Shawn Michaels.
Whisper
was his wife.
yes.
I apologize.
Buxom brunette.
It was Kimberly.
No, the other one.
So
Oh.
anyway, he goes down there. He spoofs the Shat.
Yeah.
Shat finally runs down. They get into a brawl. And, like, I'm sympathetic for Ernest Miller.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, what do you mean, really? What the fuck did he do to deserve this? This fucking white guy comes out in blackface.
Okay,
is
that's
fucking spoofing
okay,
him
that's
like a
uncalled for.
complete asshole.
That's uncalled for.
He
Well,
runs out, beats the shit out of him. He beat the shit out of him. He left Bagwell laying.
that did happen. Well, last week...
Was this Raw? Last week? I've never seen a more pathetic babyface than Buff Bagwell in this segment.
So, this is Buff's revenge because last week, Kat knocked him out with a loaded shoe and counted a pin that Sonny Ono counted, so it didn't count. So this is Buff's revenge to dress up like him, make fun of all his catchphrases, make fun of his dancing, make fun of beating up the fans.
And his race.
He did that as well. He's from Georgia. That's what they do down there. So,
Oh my God.
The hate mail.
Can we end the show?
Vincent Verheiden.
I apologize. I thought that was terrible. So, he's also wearing a velvet suit and sweating his balls off.
Join the club.
He says he has someone other, Sonny Ono, and then talks about the Nitro Girl and says, this is Sonny, oh yeah. He's making jokes about how Fat Cat's mom is. I guess he was kind of a dick, wasn't he?
Yeah.
No shit.
So,
You think I just make this up for fun?
so yes, Cat runs out and they brawl, and Cat leaves him out with a loaded shoe again, and Sonny counted 3 again, and that's it.
Brain dead segment.
Saturn and Chris Benoit versus Kurt Hennig and Barry Windham. So, Kurt Hennig for like 3 months now, maybe longer, as long as this West Texas Rednecks thing's been going on, he's been just a comedy guy who gets in the ring and goes through the motions and doesn't care. And then he gets in the ring with Chris Benoit, and suddenly he's a fighter again.
He had to be. They were beating the shit out of each other.
Yes. So these guys are going at it. All 4 Cowboys are out there interfering all the time. Saturn gets a hot tag, and he's just totally out of control, suplexing dudes all over. He punches Hennig right in the mouth, and immediately realizes his mistake because all his punches after that were a lot lighter. And he catches Hennig in the rings of Saturn, and the Cowboys attack for the DQ.
I was done with this show at this point. After the blackface and this fucking finish, I was just sick of it.
As I wrote here, why do they bother doing matches on the show?
And then Shane Douglas.
Yeah.
Shane Douglas runs in to make the save for Benoit and Saturn. Shane Douglas.
Well, a Demon Coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you were reading all of the newsletters, paying attention to whatever the internet was back then, you could figure this out. But like watching this 19 years later, only watching Nitro, this fucking guy runs in and he starts talking about when people are holding you down,
Right.
you gotta step in front of them, bash their brains in with a stop sign, and take your spot back.
Yeah.
There's a cancer here in WCW, he says, and we all know who I'm talking about. I thought, there's 2.5 million people who have no fucking idea who you're talking about, dude.
And they need to be more specific on which cancer it is.
That's a better point.
Dude,
I thought Shane's promo was awesome.
it was fine.
I have not always been a huge Shane Douglas fan, but his promo here was great. And this, well, now it's a quartet, but this group of Benoit, Malenko, and Saturn desperately needed a mouthpiece, and Shane's a fine mouthpiece.
Well, it definitely needed a mouthpiece.
Yes.
I'll give you that one.
So, I thought this was a win. Hogan Nash Savage video package, apparently building to a 3-way, I guess. I don't know. Then we had Hulk Hogan versus Sid.
Well, you know, because I just read you the Road Wild card.
Yeah, I don't know why they did a Hogan Nash Savage video package. So, fun with the network. Hogan strut down to the aisle to the NWO theme, and Scott Hudson's saying, "There's Hogan again, to Voodoo Child," because they can't play it on the network. So, they had every Hulk Hogan versus a Giant match you ever saw, only slower.
Sure.
But it worked. It fucking worked.
I saw him wrestle this match with Kamala.
Yeah.
I saw him wrestle this match with Andre the Giant.
Yes. King Kong Bundy,
Sure.
One Man Gang,
Big
probably
John
Killer
Studd.
Khan, did on Stud. They did some stuff. Sid stalled for a long time. They threw each other in the turnbuckles, and Hogan tried to body slam, and he fell down with a big guy.
Oh, no. The worst.
Sid works over the knee. There's a Cobra clutch. He misses a leg drop. Hogan hooks up, and Nash attacks for the DQ.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I will give them credit. Sting comes down, he gets beaten up, and then they hit Goldberg's music. Goldberg has been gone for so long
Yeah.
that his music had to play for like 10 seconds before the fans figured out, what's this music?
This is more fun with the network. I believe in real life, this is when he was using the Megadeth song.
Oh, that's why it was so bad.
Because you can even hear the announcers saying, "What's this music happening? What is this?"
I see.
And then Goldberg appears.
Hey, the place went absolutely hog wild,
Goldberg
road
remains off.
wild.
When
Ape
Goldberg
shit for this guy.
picked up the very large Rick Steiner and easily pressed him over his head and left him up there,
That's impressive.
like he forgot. He's a big, strong, scary dude. And so the show ended with Hogan, Sting, and Goldberg, who have been fighting each other for years. Now they're suddenly all buddy-buddy. And they're standing in the ring and having to stare down with the completely bizarre trio of Kevin Nash, Sid, and Rick Steiner. And I don't know where the payoff for that was.
Well, I'm sure it was probably supposed to be Scott Steiner, but his back's all messed up.
I guess that'd be less weird.
I just love that Goldberg runs down. He's killing everybody. He's press slamming dudes and everything like that. And the fans are going crazy for Goldberg. So Hogan turns to the ref and goes, "Raise my arm, brother." The ref raises his arm and everyone's cheering. I was like, "You are incredible."
He's the man.
You're incredible.
He's the man.
This felt like a hot product.
It did, actually.
It got massacred by Raw. Massacred.
I looked it up. It was 6.25 to 3.5.
Almost double.
Yeah, it's almost double Raw's current rating, I might add.
That also is true.
Here in 2018.
Yikes.
Brian, we haven't done this in a while, but do you have my music?
I sure do.
The finishes on this show were no finish due to both guys running to the parking lot. Clean pin, submission after shenanigans, pin after shenanigans, clean pin, pin after shenanigans, and here we go. No finish due to worm, DQ due to juggalos, DQ due to cowboys, DQ due to big sexy.
Sounds fucking awesome.
Sure. That's how they finished.
No way Raw's worse than that.
Little bit about Goldberg. There's a festival in England. You know, Goldberg's a gearhead. And he has many muscle cars.
Mm-hmm.
So he took one of his vintage racers up to the Lord Goodwood Festival. And it's basically you race up Lord Goodwood's driveway, which is a couple miles. I know this by listening to the Adam Carolla show. And he got there early, Adam Carolla did, and noticed that Goldberg's flatbed trailer was off, not with the rest of the group, because Goldberg had wrapped his multi-million-dollar car around a large rock this last weekend.
That sucks.
Oops.
Yeah, he was on the...
Sounds like he may be back soon.
Goldberg was on the Grand Tour. Right, Jeremy Clarkson and them guys. It was great. Retro Raw, number 321, July 19th, 1999. The corporate ministry is apparently still a thing. I guess. Shocking news to me. They all came out. Vince is still in his wheelchair, although he was at least able to limp up the stairs into the ring this week. But then he immediately sat back down in his chair, and this could have possibly have been an adult wheelchair. This had to have been for children. He's so down low to the ground.
He had to shoehorn his way in there.
And every time anyone comes over to talk to him, they have to bend all the way over. Like, they may have sat on the mat to talk to him. So he's cutting this promo. He promises tonight is going to be Austin's last ever Raw appearance as WWF champion. He guarantees Steve Austin will lose the WWF title to The Undertaker. And this is important because Vince's guarantees always came true, but they thought this was going to be the last one. So this is the guarantee that was not going to come true. So apparently, I guess he started to warn Taker about what would happen if Taker lost. And Taker did not take kindly to this. He warns Vince not to threaten him. Says, "I'm going to open Austin up and take his title. I'm going to do it for myself, not for you." And Vince fires back, "I sign your checks. I made you who you are today." Taker gets in Vince's face. And when I say gets in Vince's face, I mean, again, Vince's face is 2 feet off the ground because he's in this chair. So Taker has to get down on his hands and knees to threaten him. Hunter gets way down there to get in Vince's mic and speak up for him. "I know you're responsible for all this, Vince. You're the one in charge. You made us all so great. What you ought to do is put me in that first blood match, not Taker. I'll do it for you, Vince." And finally, Vince says he books Taker versus Triple H tonight, with the winner facing Steve Austin in the first blood match for the WWF title at Fully Loaded, and the loser facing The Rock in a strap match in the same show. Taker's fine with all this. Austin's music hits. He drives a blood donation truck into the arena. He promises to lock Taker in the truck and collect a donation from Vince tonight, and he drank some beer. And that was it.
A blood donation truck.
It was a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, we've jumped the shark here with vehicles for Steve Austin.
I can't think of anything better, a better vehicle they could have used for this segment.
The point is nobody remembers the blood donation truck.
No one does remember the
Because
blood.
we've used 55 vehicles now, and this is the lamest one.
That's probably true. Hunter and Shane tell Vince will be fine backstage. I'm not making this up, everyone. Yeah, it's the announced match. Road Dogg versus China in a dog collar match. What? That's what I wrote. W-U-T, what? What? So...
I thought Gangrel and Mideon's team was fucking weird enough later in the
There's
show.
some weird shit on this. So China says, "I don't want to be in a dog collar match against Road Dogg."
Sure.
Road Dogg essentially bullies her and calls her a coward and says, "You and Hunter are into this kinky stuff anyway. I probably had one of these on last night." Now she's all fired up. She puts the dog collar on. Dog punches her one time. He tries to tie her up, and Billy Gunn attacks. X-Pac makes the save. This went 1 minute, and there was no finish.
You just record that and we'll just play it over again.
It gets no better for a while. The first hour of the show.
The first hour? Everything I wrote from the second hour was the same thing.
That's probably true. There's a knock on Vince's door, and he panics. But it's just the Mean Street Posse. So Shane and the Posse hit the ring for a promo.
These guys.
Shane says, I'm here to apologize to Stephanie for knocking her out with an elbow last week.
I saw the clips of this, thank God.
Calls her out to
I
the
can
ring.
play along.
Calls her out to the ring. And Steffi's backstage with Test. Test says he doesn't want her going out there. She says, look, he's my brother. I promise everything will be okay. And she goes down to the ring alone. Never mind that this brother spent like 3 months tormenting and torturing her across the country, but...
And elbowed the shit out of her last time they were in the ring together.
So Shane, he did apologize. He did say, I apologize for what happened last week, but it's all Test's fault. He starts running her down. Says, what we gotta do is dump that loser Test and give another chance to this fine man, Joey Abs.
Joey Abs.
So Joey makes his case. Doesn't go well. Steph wants nothing to do with Shane or Joey. And finally, she slaps him. Tells him to keep, he's like running his fingers through her hair. She slaps him, tells him to keep his hands to herself. Tells Shane and all his friends to stay out of her life. And she's storming to the back, and Shane is ranting and going off. He says, I try to do it the nice way. Now we're going to do things my way, and we're going to make sure we do things my way for your happiness, Steph. I cannot believe I'm about to say this. Oh. Shane and Stephanie were both awesome here.
They were.
So that may have
And you
never
know what I noticed?
before or since, but they were both great here.
I don't know what this means, but when Stephanie has to be an out-of-her-mind crazy person,
She's much more believable.
she's great.
It's like she's channeling
When
something.
she has to be a friendly, sweet young girl, I don't believe a
It's
word
funny.
she says.
Yes.
Weird.
I noticed this last week. They hired Joey Abs to be the workhorse for the Mean Street Posse. He sucks.
I'm not sure he's
Have
any
you
better.
seen the other two? I mean, God
Yeah,
bless.
He's supposed to be the workhorse.
I made the
and-
comment last week. I'm not
I don't
sure he's
know
any
if
better than that.
workhorse is the right word. He's supposed to be a worker.
Okay.
They're not.
No.
So it was that. Val Venus and Godfather versus the Acolytes versus the Hardys versus Droz and Prince Albert in a 4-way match for the tag title.
By the way, I know they pay their enhancement talent $250 a shot. They had $1,250 worth of hose here.
I'm pretty sure they paid those hoes more than $250, Craig.
Okay. You think?
Yes, I think.
Are you budgeting, Craig, and trying to figure if you can find $1,250 or what?
I'm
If those women got less than 1,000 for that appearance, I'd be very surprised.
I'm a numbers guy. That's all.
Oh, all right. Well,
All right.
I won't judge. During the entrances, they showed the press conference where Vince confirmed that Jesse Ventura will be the special referee for the SummerSlam main event. So, all 4 teams did their entrances during the press conference. Well, clearly this is not a live show. And then I realized the exact same Jericho sign was in the front row this week that was there last week.
Right.
And the mat was stained with blood. So no, this is not a live show. So, first fall went a minute. Godfather hits Bradshaw with a cane, behind the rest back, and Val pins him. Second fall also went a minute. Val goes up top. Farouk crouches him. Jeff hits a top rope run, and Matt pins him. Oh, that's the final. What the hell's the first fall? There were 3 falls in 3 minutes here. And the Hardys are still tag
That's
teams.
ridiculous.
Bradshaw pinned Albert with a clothesline from hell. I glanced over that. Anyway, yeah. GTV, I can't believe they actually got this group. They got the stars of Mystery Men on GTV. There's Ben Stiller, Janine Garofalo, Kel Mitchell, and Pee Wee Herman. And they're talking about Steve Austin and Deborah, and Ben Stiller starts perving on Deborah's breasts. He's going crazy about it. And Janine Garofalo is right there talking about, she thinks they're actual legit puppies, like she's working in an animal shelter. And then Ben Stiller is the only one in these skits smart enough to see a camera. And he goes to it and takes it down, and that's that.
Including the wrestlers from the last few weeks.
Stuff's amazing.
It actually was
Look
amazing.
back on, yeah.
Jeff Jarrett and Deborah come out for a promo. Jerry Lawler had shown up late. Kevin Kelly was doing the commentary for the first half hour of the show or whatever. Much better as a commentator than Lawler was. So, Jarrett warns Austin to stay out of his way. That's it, right? Anything else of note happen
You know
here?
how funny it is to not watch the show,
And
but
get our
listen
notes.
to you like I'm in a production meeting,
And try to
and
get
you're
back
Vince
it all.
Russo explaining everything that's going to happen on this show.
We should rotate who doesn't watch the show each week.
Yeah. Everyone's begging for that job.
And by rotating, I mean I'll do it every week. Jeff Jarrett versus Christian. So the Brood is broken up,
Sure.
but they don't know what to do with Edge and Christian. So Christian has his own vampire entrance that is different than Gangrel's vampire entrance. Weird gothic music, candles everywhere, a poofy black shirt.
But I watched last week, but Edge and Christian are still kind of a thing.
Edge and Christian are still a team.
Okay. Why can't they? Never mind.
Use Edge's
I'm
music.
overthinking
Yeah.
it. Go ahead.
It's a hell of a production meeting.
So 30 seconds in, Christian's getting near falls. Deborah distracts the ref. Christian has the kill switch, no ref. Christian grabs the guitar. The ref pulls it away. Jeff finally hits the stroke for the win. None of these matches have gone more than 2 minutes. Lights go out. Jarrett gets a bloodbath for some reason. Edge comes out and brawls with Jarrett. Jeff leaves. Edge and Christian are very confused about this bloodbath.
Can I demand this segment be rewritten now?
If you want.
This is dumb. So stupid.
There was literally a 2-second shot of the Rock walking backstage.
Yeah.
I prefer the walk.
The Rock.
Yeah, hell of a character.
I could have done that.
You're round and hollowed out.
I guess you never run.
I see. I was talking about the cooking.
I see. I meant
Show him walking through his bus as it drives off in the distance.
Try and walk the ropes.
exactly. Yeah. Hunter tells China to take care of business while he looks after Vince. Jarrett cuts a backstage promo threatening Edge for Fully Loaded.
So Jarrett's feuding with Austin and Edge.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know why he thinks he's feuding with Austin.
Well, Austin beat him up
Last week.
Yeah, destroyed it.
He beats up everybody.
Yes. Well, Jarrett's gonna fight back.
I see.
Well, I mean, Austin is going to marry his wife, right? Or his...
I
LA.
think it's his wife.
Yeah,
Sure.
LA.
Rock versus Billy Gunn. This match got some time. I don't know, 5 minutes.
Sure.
Finally. People were head over heels in love with Rock. So even
I'll
though
say.
they did nothing, but it was still a lot of fun because it had great heat. So Rock makes a comeback. China takes the ref. Billy bumps into China. Rock hits the rock bottom. Massive ovation. Goes to the people's elbow. China hits him with a chair. Billy follows the fame asser, and Billy Gunn pins the Rock.
That happened.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Billy Gunn
William Gunn.
Yes.
pinned Mr. the Ass Man.
Mr. Ass.
Pinned The Rock.
One of the Smoking Guns pinned the Rock.
Well, he is the Royal Rumble winner.
King of Ring.
King of the Ring, sorry.
The other guy's The Rock.
Your argument is invalid.
Understood.
Hunter sucks up to Vince for a while. Al Snow versus the Big Boss Man.
Oh, thank God.
What?
No, I missed it.
Oh.
Yeah.
No one has ever responded to Al Snow versus Big Boss Man.
Thank God
By
it's Al
saying,
Snow.
oh, thank God before.
Oh, thank God I didn't watch this.
This was better than the thing they did last week.
It was?
The hardcore extreme nightgown.
I'm not saying it was worse. I'm saying they both
Whatever
were
match.
horrible. So, at the end of last week, Albert drove a spike into Head.
Right.
So Al is now going crazier than ever because Head has a spike in it.
Yes, so the mannequin hurts, so Al is hearing voices.
I hate this.
And his head hurts, much like Brian rubbing his temples right now.
So Al immediately he goes to the announcers and rants about whatever. He starts throwing weapons into the ring. He gets in the ring, Boss Man's got his nightstick, and Al says, hit me with the stick. And Boss Man does. The bell rings. I honestly don't know if that was to start the match or end it. Boss Man cuffs Al, beats him up for a while. I wrote, what is happening here? And they went to break. There was a 3-second shot of Vince checking his watch backstage.
This is where I picked up.
Okay.
I literally went to the exact amount of time I had left before you guys came over, and the first thing I see is a 3-second shot of Vince watching his watch.
Yes.
Then, immediately afterwards, 4 men come out. It's D'Lo Brown, Edge, Gangrel, and Midian.
You know,
pull these names out
Hold
of
on.
hat.
the
Hold on a
No
second.
Mercy function, I believe, had a random wrestler select. That's what they did.
I fast forwarded through these entrances, okay, because I was just trying to get through the show.
Right.
D'Lo, Edge, Gangrel, and Midian. Okay? I thought, what a weird four-way. This must be for the WWE European Championship.
That, by the way, was just handed to Midian, and he just is now.
Yes. No one even handed. He went and got it out of Shane's bag.
He said, can I use your belt, Shane?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, in the middle of this match, D'Lo Brown comes off the top, splashes Midian. He's the winner. And they say, if this happens on Sunday, he will be the new WWE European Champion.
Right.
It was then that I realized this was a tag match.
It was.
D'Lo Brown and Edge
Edge, yes.
versus Gangrel and Midian.
Right.
What?
I don't know. I also wrote, what a weird match. Now, if you watch this thing, it was a perfectly fine 3-minute tag match. It was every 3-minute tag match you ever saw. There was nothing wrong with it. They also plugged the debut of SmackDown next month. So yes, D'Lo gets the pin. That sets up the European Championship match of the pay-per-view.
So Shane's just giving it up officially?
Yeah,
I guess.
Okay.
Shane does not care about the prestigious European title anymore.
I can't believe it.
And Shane does not care about Europe.
So, they show Steve Austin get up and walk around. And they say, this is it. He's going to go kill Vince. They go to the break. They come back. And Austin goes to, catering. He pours himself a glass of water. He turns to the camera and says, I'm just getting water.
That's funny.
That's what happened. Test versus Steve Blackman.
Boring match.
So, you know the spot where the one guy is down on his back, and the other guy comes off the ropes, and the guy on his back lifts up his foot, and the guy takes the boot to the chin. It always looks silly. They found a way to make it look sillier.
I remember this.
Steve Blackman is on all fours.
Yes, and he lifted his leg like a dog peeing on a fence.
He managed to kick Test in the jaw.
Sounds awesome.
So, Test
I'll admit I fast forwarded through this match. I'm not gonna lie.
I wish I had. Test is about to hit a meltdown when, you'll never guess,
The posse ran in for
Shane and the
DQ.
Posse run in for the DQ.
Dude.
They're holding Test. Shane is slapping him. Ken Shamrock clears the ring with a baseball bat. Steve Blackman he came out with a gear bag.
Sure.
And you can see kendo sticks sticking out of
He's
there.
Jack the Ripper. He's got a little bag. He butchers his opponents, and he calmly walks away.
Steve Blackman pulls out bladed weapons.
I told you.
Jim Ross says those are commas. And I looked it up. That's what a comma is. It's like a mini scythe. He has 2 fucking knives in his goddamn hands. He's going to cut off Steve... Ken
Like tiny sickles, really.
Yeah. They'll kill you.
Understood.
He's going to lob off Ken Shamrock's head. And they just go to break. This man's threatening another guy with knives, and they just go to break.
And the funny thing is, they come back from break, and they show him calmly walking to his car.
Yeah, did he use the knives?
I don't know.
That guy dead?
I figured Shamrock was in the bag.
Parts of him work. Undertaker's walking around. The Millennium gets here in 500 some hours. Steve Blackman leaves.
God, 500 hours. That's a long time. 500 hours of Raw to get to Chris Jericho.
No, fortunately, it's real time, so we only have to, it's only about 400.
Oh, I see. Thank God. Okay.
Yes.
All right, that's a little better.
Actually, 450 hours of whatever. Big Show and Hardcore Holly versus X-Pac and Kane.
Okay, so I fucking hated this. I abhorred this until the very end when it actually became really awesome.
That's fair. That's fair.
I gotta give him credit.
So, X-Pac and Kane have been having troubles. X-Pac is mad at Kane for being in cahoots with his brother, The Undertaker. So X-Pac tells Kane, his tag team partner, to leave. But Kane says, I'm not going to leave. I'll get out of your way. I'm going to go fight with the Big Show. They tried to recap all of this of what had happened on Heat. It was impossible. So Kane's brawling on the floor with both of the bad guys. Out comes The Undertaker. He hits a chokeslam on X-Pac. Not a DQ.
Street fight.
It was a street fight?
Yes.
All right. That's news to me. Let's see. Taker attacks Big Show and Holly with stairs, not a DQ. Taker and Kane go to leave together. And then Kane stops. He turns. He doesn't know what happened to X-Pac, but he knows his buddy X-Pac is down in the ring and might be hurt. And he goes to check on X-Pac, much to the Undertaker's dismay. Undertaker goes to get Kane, puts his hand on Kane's shoulder and says, "Leave him. It's over." And Taker and Kane turn, and Kane is reluctant, but he trusts his brother. Taker says to leave him be, I'm going to leave him be. And then the production truck chooses to replay the chokeslam Undertaker did to X-Pac moments ago.
This guy's in trouble.
He knows it. He knows he's been caught red-handed. Huge grimace on his face. Kane, the wheels are turning in his big red head. He watches the video. Taker's laying on X-Pac. Turns around. X-Pac's dead. He turns around. Taker tries to apologize. Kane grabs him. Taker, for perhaps the only time in his entire career, his face goes into terror. Kane chokeslams the hell out of him. Everyone's going crazy.
A monster ovation for this.
Everyone's going crazy. Kane throws X-Pac over his shoulder. He's going up the ramp. His music's playing. Everyone's already cheering. About halfway up the ramp, X-Pac is recovered. Kane sets him down on his feet. Pac gets his bearings. He looks around. He looks at Taker. He looks at Kane. And he just gives him the biggest hug.
Place goes
And
nuts.
Kane hugs him back. And Kane and X-Pac are friends.
A young, filthy Tom Lawler shed a tear.
This is actually... I remembered parts of this. In hindsight, this is incredibly rushed.
Oh, yeah.
They did this all in like 3 minutes. It could have been 5 or 10 easy.
Yeah.
But it was still awesome.
It was so good. The crowd made it even better.
And this is where Kane learned how to hug.
And it was a happy ending.
It was a happy ending.
That was the most notable thing about
It
it.
was amazing,
It's
actually.
like, you know what? When they do happy endings, like, people are really happy. It'd be kind of cool to, like,
Write that down.
do them more often.
Triple H versus The Undertaker.
I watched 1 minute of this.
It was good, but it was every Undertaker match I ever saw. So, halfway through, Steve Austin grabs a cameraman and says, "It's time."
Oh, by the way, this is the same Undertaker that just got chokeslammed straight to hell by Kane 5 minutes
That is
earlier.
true, yeah.
Just saunters out for this match with Hunter. Hey, I'm ready to go.
That did happen. So, Austin just hits the ring and attacks Taker for the DQ. Rock runs out to brawl with Hunter. Place, again, is just going insane. Yep. Every fan is losing their shit about this. So Rock and Hunter just disappear. It's all Taker and Austin. They go over and brawl to the van. Taker goes to throw Austin to the van. Austin reverses. He throws Taker to the van, and then he locks him inside. Wait.
That's good in theory.
Are there vans that you can be actually locked inside of? This seems like a terrible
Well,
idea.
here's the bad thing. When Steve Austin threw him in the back of the van, he walks right past the open door
In the front of the van.
in the front of the van.
So, all right. So,
Well, you don't want someone stealing the blood. You gotta be able to lock it from the outside.
so you lock the thief inside with the blood?
No, you're just locking him in. You're asking, is there this makes no What are you asking me?
How can you get locked inside a van?
It's,
This is not.
You don't want the blood to get out.
This is not. You know what, Brian? I hadn't thought of that. You don't want the blood to get out, right? What a waste that would be if the blood escaped.
They could all start communicating and form a plan. And
Oh, the last thing we need is delinquent blood running the
Yeah.
streets.
That's delirious with heat.
So Austin goes to the ring.
Hadn't thought of that.
He gets his Smoking Skulls belt. He's very happy. Then he realizes Vince.
Where'd that come from?
I don't know.
he got it last week, didn't he?
No. He wanted Vince to bring, and Vince never did.
Yeah.
I just
right,
realized
but-
that. Where'd that belt come from?
Taker had it last
Taker
week.
had it, yeah.
Just Taker hit him with it last week. I guess Taker brought it out with him this week.
Okay.
I don't remember. But that was
Is it the driver's seat of the Bloodmobile?
We could ask the blood, I
hood
guess.
ornament. So Austin goes after Vince. Vince is in his wheelchair. Austin just punches him once, then lays him out with a belt. Vince gags his blood everywhere.
Get a gusher.
He did, actually. And Vince, I didn't know what Austin signed, because he signed the contract last week, didn't he?
No, he never signed it.
Oh, well,
No, only Taker did.
he returned the favor here, signing the contract in Vince's blood.
I like that. Played off the week before.
Yeah.
Actually, something that made sense from week to week that they didn't forget about.
Yes.
I don't see that a lot.
They never showed the attorney gingerly taking the paperwork and putting on
No.
rubber
gloves. And,
Yeah.
So Paul Bearer breaks Undertaker out of the truck with the blood. And now Undertaker's in the ring. He's beating up Austin. Now Austin's bleeding too.
There's blood everywhere.
There's blood everywhere.
Shouldn't have opened up that bloodmobile.
It's not.
Got out.
So Taker destroys him, and the last shot of this is the Undertaker's music is playing. He's standing there with the belt. He's the only one not bleeding. Meanwhile, down on the ground, lying almost on top of each other, are Vince McMahon, bloody as hell, and Steve Austin also bleeding, both destroyed. And I thought, this was, at the time, intended to be the very last Vince McMahon, Steve Austin segment on Raw ever.
Yeah.
What a perfect finish.
Yeah.
They destroyed each other. Yep. There was no winner and no loser. They're both done. That is awesome.
But, you know, plans change.
Plans do change. But for judging this show on its own merits, that was a great finish.
You know, I realize it cuts heel fairly fast, but they're doing a blood match on the following Sunday.
6 days.
6 days later. It is imperative that Steve Austin not bleed. You know what I mean? He can't bleed. Or they just bullshit the finish or whatever. But here they are, every week they're busting this guy open on TV. Every single week. All the way up until 6 days before the show.
This is not a live show, so he got busted open twice on this show.
I guess it would have been 2 weeks, so we had 2 weeks to heal.
That's also
That does make sense. But still.
Yeah,
Are you ready for your music, Vinny?
I suppose so.
You suppose so.
The finishes on this show were no finish in a dog collar match. 3 finishes in 3 minutes in a tag match. Pin after a teased guitar shot in about a minute. Pin after a chair shot from the outside. I guess a DQ for a nightstick shot in a match that never actually started. Clean pin in a tag match. DQ in 3 minutes. DQ in the main event.
Boom. Excellent reporting, Vinny.
Thank you.
That's history right there that you're recapping. You know that? Children someday doing book reports will look back on the show to get the finishes report from you.
I hadn't thought of that.
You worked so hard on. All right, we're out of time, everybody. We will have this video up in a couple hours. Video.f4wonline.com. We should be back for all video shows from here on out. I have no trips until the convention, at which point I think we're only missing 1 show. So, check it out, video.f4wonline.com. Powerbomb TV if you want to watch the Chop and Rolls match with the Rock and Roll Express. f4wonline.com/shirts if you want any of these awesome shirts we're all wearing here tonight. Plug in the show, and all that other good stuff. So, check it out, everybody. That's it. We'll talk to you again after a while.
Good night. Adios.
From the Figure 4 Online Studios in beautiful Bothell, Washington.